Welcome, everyone, to episode 164 of Just Joshing. I am your host, Joshua Penteleresco. I write stuff and podcast too. Today, my guest, Ron S. Friedman, author of Typhoon Time, which I still haven't quite gotten to read to. I'm sorry, Ron. It's been busy, and I'll get to why in a minute. But Ron's always fun to talk to. I get a real kick of just who he is as a person. He's a character in his own right, in a good way. And there's a lot more to him. Each and every time I talk to him, I always get the sense with him that there's a lot more depth to him. And little by little, I'm getting into those layers. And this conversation's no different. Plus, he always seems to give me ideas. Who knows? Maybe I make $1 million someday. He's going to be like, I come for you for royalty rights or something to that effect. But all in all, I had a real fun chatting with Ron. I think you'll hear it too in this conversation. And kudos to you, buddy, for your first novel. I'm here also to talk about, I'm actually going to be part of a larger event really soon. June 24th, the one and only M. Jane Collette has put together this amazing event called Sultry and Sweet Reads, or Sweet and Sultry Reads. Hold on. I'm going to make sure I get this exactly right or she'll beat me here. Sultry and Sweet Summer Reads YYC. That is the event, and I'm going to have this nailed down solid. Sultry and Sweet Reads YYC is going to be at Eau Claire Market from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. June 24th. I will be there. I will be interviewing quite a few of the lovely and talented individuals who are going to be there. I'll be talking about them in the weeks to come. But first, let's get to our conversation with Ron Friedman, shall we? So when I do a podcast, right, I don't. My whole thing is, all right, what's going on with you, and getting, like you said, get a better scope of who you are as a person. Like, one of the things I'm kind of curious about this time versus last time, and when I talked to you last time, you were just releasing your first short story collection. This time, you're an official novelist and stuff now. So
yeah,
I know. Congrats, buddy. Right. So first off, congratulations. But second, I just just a curiosity kind of thing. Which was easier for you?
Which was easier? I would say the short story collection was easier, simply because short stories are short.
Yeah.
Novel takes much longer time to craft, to write, and then revise, fix, review. Short story is also a lot of work, but a lot less.
Well, because short stories to me, for me, it's the opposite. Like, writing long-winded stuff is very easy. I bloviate words a minute, but I find short stories, they're harder because because they're so small, right? You only have so much space to fit in so many things, and if done well, they're great. Short stories are almost in kind of a lost art, because we don't live in an era anymore where short fiction book magazines are as plentiful as they once were. They're still out there. There's some really good ones like Pulp and stuff like that, but Analog, Asimov, the usuals, but they're almost from a forgotten age. So as a result, the short story is kind of in my opinion, it's a lost art.
It's not entirely lost. I think, as I said earlier, the main advantage of a short story is that it is short.
Yeah.
So as you learn the craft and you want to improve your own skills, and also you want to be able to pay the bills, which means you need to have a full-time job. You don't have too much time to write.
Yeah.
So getting into the industry, learning how it works, get some recognition. I think short story is one of the best way of doing it.
Yes. No, it's fair. No, I agree. It's so. Was it a big adjustment then going to novel, and all of a sudden you got this all this space to tell a story that you again, because you've written a lot of shorts for a long time. So this was oh God, I got all this room.
I also wrote a novel for a long time. I just wasn't able to find a publisher to publish it.
Yeah. Oh no, it's fair. No, I just bring this up because it's it's cool. You're finally out there. So you're gonna be doing more novels, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Right. So are you still going to be doing as many short stories, or is it going to be something where you're going to...
Now I write less short stories and focus more on novels.
Yeah.
So this novel that just came out, Typhoon Time, it's a standalone with an open ending. I'm waiting for the publisher to tell me the numbers and if he wants to turn this into a series. But currently I'm working on another novel that is not related to this one.
Yeah.
If the publisher wants to make this one, Typhoon Time, into a series, then I will come back and write book number 2.
So basically now you're looking just at bigger, like just bigger stuff on a regular basis at this point. Right?
Bigger space.
Yeah, bigger space.
There is, as you said, there is more money in novels.
Yes. Well, absolutely, but also just there's more. It's like I said, compact moments are very, very, like for me, I found them very hard to do. But a novel, you have more room to breathe and really lay it.
It still has to be very, very tight.
Absolutely.
Top notch.
No. I agree with that. I mean, but you have more room, right? There's like, okay, I can take a minute and explore my character's headspace a little bit more, Whereas in a short story, you have to have a very, like, I almost feel like the best shorts are like just short, like a moment in time kind of deal. Maybe I'm just me.
I think maybe Flash story, I like that.
Yeah.
Flash story also is under 1,000 words. But short stories are typically 1,500 to 7,500 words, maybe 5,000 words.
Yes.
For those, you had developed characters and you have a plot with a beginning, middle, and end, arc. You have a problem, something changed, the characters try to resolve the issue and it's escalated, but get to the climax and then you have an ending.
Yeah.
So it's the same structure as a novel. You don't have the subplots, you don't have as much character developments and background developments. It has to be more concise, but the structure is very similar.
Yeah. So do you want to do like? Oh, so you're obviously talking about doing novel series. Like, do you like? So, I realize numbers are playing a big role. Would you like to go back into the world of Typhoon Time, or would you or does the other series you're currently working on excite you more?
I'm not sure.
Not sure.
Typhoon Time I started to write about 10 years ago, so that's been quite some time. So right now I'm exploring a new universe and a different world. But I'm also passionate about the world of Typhoon Time.
It'd be different though. It would be a little different though this time.
It would be a bit different.
Yeah, because 10 years is a lot of life experience.
Yeah, but I was working on it until about a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
To do revision and rewrites and polishing. It's quite a process.
No, yes, that's 7.5 years. So my question then is this: how did the short stories prepare you for the novel? And then my other question is, with the current novel, what you're working on, is it easier because you've done one book? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I also done one book. Also, I did a lot of research on the same universe by focusing on my short stories. So a lot of my short stories, I released, the one you interviewed me last year, are all set in the same universe. So the novel is in the same universe. It's a different plot, but a lot of the background and the world building is already done. Okay. So that makes it a bit easier. And also in the last 10 years, my craft, my ability to write has improved significantly. Like my first short story I sold in 2011. And when I started writing Typhoon Time, I got a lot of rejection. So my level went up significantly since. So I know a lot better what I'm doing right now.
Oh, that's good. So when you're doing this novel, whatever the one you're currently working on, is it easier? Like in the sense that like you're more comfortable now with how a novel kind of feels.
Yeah, and I think I'll have to do fewer revisions.
Yes, but one can hope. So okay, I guess it's like.
And I think it's probably going to be easier to find a publisher this time.
Well, yeah. It might even be the same person, right? So I mean. So I guess from this point, you've gone through a very traditional route for your career. You've sold. Well, think about it. You've sold stories to a bunch of magazines, which like back in the I don't want to say old school because it's not quite right. Typically speaking, science fiction writers, when they broke into their industry, they would sell to Analog, Asimov, all these different magazines. Like in your case, Neo-Opsis.
Galaxy Edge,
Galaxy Edge,
Daily Science Fiction,
and yeah, you did the same thing. You cut your teeth that way, you attracted the notice of various people for your work, all right, and some help from friends here and there, I'm sure. And then finally, you get in. Now you're in with a decent sized house, right?
World Fire Press.
Yeah, World Fire Press. You're in a decent sized house, and you've done this. So
Also did self-publish.
Yeah.
So I did both.
Yeah. So you're a hybrid.
A hybrid, and I also editing 3 anthologies that were also self-published, the Enigma font ones.
Yes. Well, you do Enigma font for IFWA, right? So
I'm not doing it this year, but I did in the last 3 years.
Yeah.
And actually, right now we are here in the Military Museum. I have a booth here. I'm selling books, and 2 of the 3 Enigma fonts books were sold out.
Nice. So, okay, so I guess from your point of view, what did editing, like editing other people's work, teach you in your craft? Like what did you learn from positively from that?
Yeah, you learn when you read somebody else's work, then you identify issues. Like if you have a character is not developing, or things that doesn't make any sense comparing to how it's supposed to do, and then you think, hey, wait, I'm doing that too. So, so once you critique other people's work and revise them and work on them and help them get better in their story, you also learn how to make your own work better.
Yeah.
So you have your blind spots, but once you find the same issue with other people,
it's easier. I still find you miss stuff though, because you're just too.
You always miss stuff. You always need an editor and a copy editor, and then it goes out, and people will still find stuff.
Mm-hmm. And you swear, you swear, because sometimes you're like, okay, I know I use this word too much. Like in my case, there's one word in particular I use way too much in my stuff. So like, you look. It's like, okay, I think I got them all. Then I come back and there's notes on all the ones I missed. They're like, how did I do it? Like, you just constantly, it's a never-ending process of getting better. So I guess...
And it's not just finding words.
No.
How to make the characters more appealing. How to not use cliche. How to do something unique.
Well, I was actually my next question. What do you feel you're still working on at this point? Okay, I mean, I'm just curious if you what do you feel are you working on hard?
Yeah, I'm trying to make the characters a little bit more character-driven story. I feel I have a pretty solid background on the world building, on the science. I write hard SF, so the science needs to be accurate.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to get better in creating more interesting characters rather than use the same stunts.
No, it's well, science fiction is unique because the concepts is the most important thing in science fiction. The characters,
characters today.
No, they're a lot more important. They are very important. Don't get me wrong, but again, I read someone. I don't want, again, far be it for me to critique him, but I read David Brin, for example. He will go on, and sometimes there's charts, diagrams to explain the concepts that he's working on. And then the character development, the characters are there and the characters are strong and all that stuff, but it's the concept first and then the characters second. I think that's just a natural, I'm not going to say chopping, but I think that's a very hard challenge. Very few. There are some sci-fi. I think learning characters is one of the hardest things in sci-fi. Make that believable. You still explain the science. It's still
and unique.
Yeah.
And different.
Yeah. That's a really, really hard balance, and it's not. And kudos to anyone who does it really well, because it's something I think Rob Sawyer does a really good job of that. I think. But
absolutely.
Yeah. He does a really good job. He's almost very Asimovian, and he have a really cool scientific concept. But he also has some really believable characters. Like the Terminal Experiment is one of my favorite books because the main character is going through some serious life issues with his marriage in this book. I'm not going to spoil it too much for anyone who hasn't read it, but that's a big factor into what goes on in the book and when the murder mystery occurs. His personal life plays a big role in it. It was really, really well done how he tied that together. So that's what you're kind of doing too, is just yeah.
So trying to weave the different components, how to match the character development, the plot, the setting, the background, the conflicts, and make it all make sense and make it all tie together and advance the plot and bring all that stuff together.
Mm-hmm.
Not the term Chekhov's gun.
Yeah.
So you want to think, you don't want to surprise the characters. So you want to surprise them in a way that, oh, that's a Chewbacca walking by.
Yeah, this is
Chewbacca.
Yes. Well, Future Wars. Future Wars, we got Star Wars and Ghostbusters in the same place. Actually, maybe we should do that afterwards. We finish the point here. No, it just...
So weaving the whole story together and tie everything and leave some hint of foreshadowing, and you want to, I would say, manipulate the emotion of the reader or the viewer. You want them to move to different emotions from fear, humor, and do that in a way that will surprise them, and then they think, wait a minute, that's true.
Well, I think what you're talking about there is organics. Like, okay, so your character goes through an arc in every story. Like, there's a particular arc a character goes through. Now, there's a conflict of some kind in that arc, whatever that arc is, and there has to be a resolution of some sort. Now, obviously, there are very cliched ways of doing it, but which I think the biggest challenge you face as a writer is, okay, what feels the most organic in this?
Surprising, but still makes sense. It's very, very delicate balance.
Yes, because you don't want to do a deus ex machina. You don't want a red herring. You don't want a smoking gun. You don't want to write yourself into a particular corner. What you want to do is like, okay, this character. Let's say this character is always has this thing of like this broken complex where he always feels trapped. Well, then an opportunity should come about how to escape. But okay, so the twists and turns is it really an escape or is it another prison, right? Or maybe he's afraid to take that escape because he's so familiar. And then both of those are very organic, natural things you feel in that kind of environment, right? So what works for this story? What do you, and then, like I said, there's some, obviously as a writer you have some say too. What kind of story do you want to tell? So
yeah, you want to keep your own voice.
Yeah.
So you want to do your own theme.
Yeah.
You still want to consult with other people, give it to beta reader or editor and get feedback. But you don't necessarily need to use them all.
No.
Use only things that you believe as a writer that it will make your work better.
No, absolutely. No, and that's part of every process when you craft a book. So I guess the other thing is, are you working on like changing your tone in your books? Like, will Ron Friedman ever try to do a comedy or a game?
I write a comedy.
Yeah.
I mean, I write very, very serious books. So I don't talk about the Holocaust.
No.
But I add humor.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
This is part of my voice.
No. I get you. What I mean is, would you do something like with like more? Okay, this would be like, this is drama. Like, would you do something like Ghostbusters? Like, that's something that's very, like, the tone would be very lighter, friendlier. Like, could you see yourself doing that, or do you just enjoy?
I typically do serious topics.
Yes.
But as we talked earlier about the emotional state of the user, of the reader, I want to alternate from fear to awe, love, but I also very heavily add humor stuff, like some one-liner or some pieces. So people who read, even when they read the serious reader, there is also a light aspect to them. And some of my short stories are lighter than others, more funnier. Like the one here in Galaxy Edge that was nominated to the Aurora. It's a very dark story and very funny story. I try to make it funny to begin.
Well, dark humor is really has a certain appeal because we all can relate to. It's like, oh, of course, this is how this works, right? And that's the best stuff. So I'm going to pin you down here at this point. I'm going to pin you down here. I'm not going to talk about the novel. I'm going to talk about your shorts. What if anybody that wants to get introduced to Ron Friedman, which short story would you recommend them trying out first? You had to pick just one.
Just one short story.
Just one. What is? I'm trying to pin you down in an evil way. I know, but.
Okay, where is the humor in that?
No.
Okay, let's see what we have here.
Pick one. Which one is your person? Would you say?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'll go with Game Not Over. That's the game the story I told you earlier.
Yes.
It's dark and funny, and there is a lot to it. It's like a beginning of a very big universe.
Yes.
That continue and build upon it, and it's actually tied to indirectly to a lot of my other short stories.
So it was the genesis of everything that came about. So okay, that's so Game Not Over, which is in Escape Velocity, right?
In Escape Velocity and also in Galaxy's Edge.
Yes.
Was nominated for the Aurora.
So you've been nominated for a lot of awards, like sometimes like honorable mentions and stuff like L. Ron Hubbard, which I thought was a nice little. A bit of a, I'm not gonna say running joke exactly, because it's a cool honor, but you're just like so close and yet not quite every time.
Not at all. I refuse to make it so close, which is why I eventually become a self-published author.
Yeah, exactly.
I was told, oh, this is really, really cool. It's the market way of telling you, you are almost there.
Yeah.
So I decided to say, may I say slow?
You can swear all you want. I don't care.
Screw them. It's going on. So now it's out. The almost.
Yeah.
The debut honor.
So yes. So I was gonna get this. Like, so does the prestige mean a lot to you? Like in terms of that you've been nominated for so many awards and that you've done it, or I mean I know it's flattering.
Yeah, I think it's more exposure.
Yeah.
Look, when you want people to buy your work, you want them to know who you are and what you do, so you want to create a buzz.
Yes.
So if you go like what we do here, we go to the military museum. I'm in the military museum. Create a buzz. Oh, I nominated for the award. I was nominated for the award. It's create a buzz. So it's more the creating a buzz.
Oh no, I totally get it. I just figured I'm just curious where that stands with you. So you hoping this gets an Aurora next year?
I hope it.
Yeah.
I hope it wins the Aurora.
Yeah. Oh, why not, right? So I think we have an interview here. So why don't we end it on this? Tell people a little bit about Typhoon Time, right? What's going on, because this is your current release, and how can people find you?
I live in Calgary.
Social media.
It's available on Bain website, Amazon, Kobo, most of the usual suspects. It's available in a few local stores.
What's it about? What's it about?
Okay, the story. How do I call it? The style is Tom Clancy, but with time travel.
Okay.
But a Holocaust survival billionaire and a history professor traveling back in time to 1938 in an attempt to stop the Holocaust and World War II. And they do that in a nuclear submarine. So there is a lot of deep dilemma. Like,
would you kill Hitler?
Oh my goodness, Dr. D2.
I was trying to stay away as possible from cliches, but
well, I'm not saying that like you're preventing the Holocaust, like preventing it, like it. One of the biggest tragedies is in all seriousness. That's a big deal, because how much life was lost in that moment, and who knows?
It's about 70 million people.
Yeah.
It's a bit difficult to count, because a lot of people died from disease and starvation that you don't know if it's directly related to the war or not.
Yeah.
But the number is roughly around 70 million people.
Yeah. So.
And also a lot of cities were destroyed.
Yes. Which I guess we're going to bring this on.
So the big dilemma, if you're using a nuclear submarine with 200 nuclear warheads, would you create a new Holocaust to prevent another?
Well, that's it. It's like, well, is that the, and also the, I don't know if this is talked about because I haven't gotten into the book deeply yet, but is there no other way, right? Because interestingly, like like sometimes it simply is infecting the right hearts and minds. Could that have been done?
Yeah.
Who knows, right? Right? Would you have to go to another extreme option to solve the problem? You know, that's always Yeah.
That's not the book. That's not how the book ended, but
No.
that's definitely the way. This is definitely the dilemma that some of the characters had.
Yeah, absolutely. And
It's a very serious dilemma.
Well, yeah.
With humor.
Well, it has to be some. I mean, you're dealing with the end of the world. I mean, you got to live by it somewhere. Or it's depressing, right? Right. So, but
And so the latest news about this book is that the publisher decided they want to do an audiobook,
that's cool.
and we started the production. So right now,
Are you doing the reading?
no.
No.
They hire somebody who is a professional voice actor. He also appeared in Hollywood.
I have to say I enjoyed your reading on Thursday night. It was you had fun up there. I could tell.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I have accent, so I'm not sure they want me as a voice actor.
I would love to. No, I why not? Okay, so just on a personal side here, I truly believe this. If the most enthusiastic person about your work is you, I think even though you have an accent, I think the enthusiasm and the excitement you could possibly bring to it might overcome barriers. Now, obviously, there are advantages to a professional. I'm not going to say there's not, but there's something raw about. It's like I could draw a stick figure, you could draw a stick figure.
Oh, that's an idea.
Yeah, right?
Maybe I do, instead of doing the book, maybe I do on YouTube.
Yeah.
Just what I did the Taste of Local Author.
Yeah.
Read the first few pages.
Yeah, why not? That'd be fun. I mean, and it'd be a good way. It'd be a good way to get yourself out there, and it'd be very fun. People will get a sense of who you are. You can have a lot of fun with that. So, how do people find you on social media?
Ron Friedman or Rona Friedman.
Like Ron, or is no Wes Friedman there, or just Ron Friedman?
Yeah, okay. Ron Friedman. I'm on. I think I'm most known in Quera. I have a 1.6 million viewer there, and then I'm also active on Facebook, Twitter. I recently started on a number of them.
Okay, very cool. All right. And that was my conversation with Ron Friedman. Ron Friedman's book, Typhoon Time, is available now. I'm going to be reading it soon, I promise. It's been, kind of crazy with everything happening to me lately. But we'll get into that in the days and weeks to come. But Ron, thanks very much for being on my show. You are welcome anytime you want. Ron's also a big part of When Words Collide. He's also a big part of the local Calgary community here. Good dude, lots. And honestly, I owe him a lot. Thanks, buddy, for everything you've done for me. And that will do it for this episode of Just Joshing. So, you can do a couple things if you want, if you liked what you heard. You can subscribe to the podcast through Podomatic or iTunes. You can buy my books, The Watcher, Storm Dancer, Wandering God, all available at mirrorworldpublishing.com or through Amazon, Kobo, or anywhere else books can be ordered or sold. You can pick up my books. If you like them, tell everybody. If you don't like them, keep it between us, okay? My YouTube channel is Joshua Penteloresco. Episodes are being archived there on a semi-regular basis. I need a secretary. I really do, but I digress. But yeah, there are 90 episodes there you can listen to. More are going to go up as time goes on. It truly has been a labor of love putting this podcast together. But I digress again. If you can do none of these things, that's cool. But whatever you do, chase your dreams, stay inspired. Who knows? Maybe I'll talk to you someday. All right, guys. Stay out of trouble or don't get caught. Whatever you subscribe to.
Josh.